Are we good to go?
Just a moment. Okay, we are good to go. It is 3:02 p.m. This meeting is going to start off a little bit different from our other meetings. I'm going to kick it off here. Actually, maybe I'll let Megan start, and I'll just call on people after Megan. I'll let you talk, and then we'll introduce everybody. So,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So for those of you who may not have seen, I am resigning from my position of Secretary for Off-Campus Affairs. And so we thought that it would be most appropriate for the new Secretary for Off-Campus Affairs to become the chair. And so that's what we're hoping to do today. I kind of want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you for putting up with me for this semester, and that I will really miss this position and this commission. But other than that, I will let Emily McClary, who's the new Secretary for Off-Campus Affairs, introduce herself and kind of take it from there.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Megan. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet all of you. I am Emily McClary. I was just elected the new ASG's Secretary for Off-Campus Affairs. And then I'm really excited to start working in this position. It's kind of a weird time of the year with school actually coming to a close today. But some of my goals for this position are to continue with sustainability and providing recycling for our off-campus students. I also want to continue our work with SIV prevention and awareness with the Women Helping Women organization and the Ask for Lexi initiative. And then I also just want to continue student and community outreach. So just really getting our off-campus students engaged in the community, both in Oxford and Miami, and just really providing the resources that are available to them. So that's a little bit more about me. And again, I'm so excited to work with all of you guys, and it's so nice to meet you.
Thank you, Emily. And Megan, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. I think my video is just frozen.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Megan. You've been great this semester. So
thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm Andrew Wilson. I'm the city manager's designee. I work in the community development department here at the city of Oxford. And I will throw it to Matt to introduce himself.
I am Matt Arbuckle, and as you know, Emily, I'm a professor at campus in Miami. And I just joined the board this semester. This is my first semester too. So I look forward to working with you in this capacity.
And Glenn?
Yeah, Glenn Ellerby, a longtime resident, employee at Miami Enrollment Management and Student Success, and I'm on City Council. Happy to be here. This is, I think it's my 6th year doing this stuff now, so like doing it.
And Prue?
Prue Dana, and I'm an in-town resident and interested in where our paths cross between the students and the year-round people who live here.
Thank you, Prue.
And I'm a big League of Women Voters participant too.
Thank you. Amy?
Yes, hi, I'm Amy Masechko. I'm the Health and Wellness Coordinator for the Talawanda School District and also with the Coalition for a Healthy Community here in the Oxford area. So care very much about the health of both our students and full-time residents.
Scott?
Scott Walter, the Assistant Vice President for Student Life. So congratulations, Emily. So you and I will be meeting in cabinet meetings, so I'll get to know you better in other meetings that we'll have.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Joy?
Hi, Emily. It's nice to meet you. My name is Joy Usner. I am a resident and I serve on this committee in that capacity. So it's nice to meet you. And Megan, thank you for all the great work that you've done this semester as well.
And Steve?
Steve Schnabel, longtime resident, and I run the senior center here in town. So we have a number of student interns through our organization, and I'm really interested in the interactions between the community and the students and would love to see them smooth and stable.
Thank you. Kathy?
Hi, I'm Kathy McVeigh, and I'm also, I guess, a long-term Oxford resident. Retired after 30 plus years at Miami, raised 2 kids here in town. I have a mother that's 93 that lives at the Knolls, so I kind of have a touch base with where students intersect with people at all kinds of ages.
Good.
And
Looking
Laura?
forward to.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Fenning. I work for the police department. I'm a lieutenant. I am in charge of community outreach as one of my many jobs. I'm also a resident. I also have 2 college-age children. One of them goes here. I have another high school kid, but yeah, anyway, been around town, so I know a lot of people and know a lot of stuff that goes around here. So it's this is a great group, and you'll learn a lot. You'll meet a lot of people, and that is a valuable networking tool.
Thank you. Megan?
Hi, Emily. I'm a PhD student at Miami, and I serve on this commission as the representative from the Graduate Student Association. And outside of that, I'm also a volunteer advocate with Women Helping Women. So excited to hear you want to keep working with them.
Excellent. Thanks. Sidra?
Hey, Emily. As you already know, I'm a student in the Associated Student Government, and I serve on this commission as a student representative.
And Jennifer?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Marston. I'm the practice manager at the Animal Care Clinic on Lynn Avenue. In addition to that, I'm your Chamber of Commerce representative. I also am the president-elect for the Kiwanis, so next year's president. And I'm also in Lions Club. I'm on the Coalition for Healthy Community, and I sit on the Mental Health Committee. I probably do 4 or 5 other things, but those are the ones I can come up with right now.
Thank you, Jennifer. Molly?
Hi, I'm Molly. I am the outgoing Panhellenic president. This probably will also be my last meeting because we did elect somebody new. I'm in my position until February 7th, which is our bid day. But I believe this is the last meeting of this semester. So next semester, Lydia will take over. It'll be someone from Panhellenic, whoever can make the meeting probably to represent us. But I also wanted to say thank you all for such a great year. Megan, you've done awesome. And I am so incredibly happy that you guys voted to add Greek life representation on this board, because it really, really has helped me a lot. I've brought up a lot of the things we've talked about in conversations that I've had, and I think you guys are all awesome. So thank you for a great semester.
Thank you for joining us this semester as well, Molly. We appreciate it. Emma?
Hi, Emily. My name's Emma, and I represent the commuter students of Miami.
Thank you. Zoe?
Hey, Emily. Zoe Douglas. I am a student representative, senior at Miami, and the Diversity Affairs Council president.
And Lena?
Hi, Emily. I'm Lena, and I'm also a senator in ASG. I serve on this commission as a representative for international students.
Thank you. And we also have 2 guests with us today. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves as well. And I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Teresa?
Yeah, you got it. My name's Teresa. I'm not a member. I'm not a representative, but I am a guest speaker today. Myself and Andrew, and you'll just have to wait till our presentation to see what that is about.
And Andrew? Other Andrew?
Yes, hi. Hi, other Andrew. Hi, my name is Andrew Vedjon. I'm a senior here at Miami. And like Teresa said, both of us are representing the Armenians for Human Rights movement that has started within Miami and Oxford.
Excellent. And we're going to have one more guest, my boss, Community Development Director, Sam Perry, a little bit later. So thank you all. And Emily, welcome to SCRC. Feel free to reach out to anybody here if you need more information about what we all do and how we're all connected here. So the next item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
I move we approve the agenda.
And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against? All right, the agenda is approved. Okay, so the next item that I'll be involved with here is the selection of a new chair. The more recent tradition here with SCRC is that the chair is the Secretary for Off-Campus Affairs, but the ordinance is written that the voting members can select the chair. So I will let you all decide how you want to proceed with this conversation. So if somebody would like to make a motion to approve Emily, I know Emily would like to chair SCRC, but you guys carry on the conversation how you see fit.
I'm happy to nominate Emily McCleary as our new chair and welcome her to that role.
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 All those against, say nay. All right, Emily, welcome.
Can we
Great,
do
thank you all.
a motion of appreciation for Megan as she is stepping down as well, because she's been fabulous.
All right, and can I get a second for that?
Second.
Second.
And all those in favor, say aye.
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 All those against? Megan, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Megan.
I'm going to be signing off here now that you guys are officially in new hands. So thank you again, everyone. And I know that Emily is going to do an amazing job. So
Awesome.
bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Megan.
Thank you, Megan.
All right, sorry, Emily, I will pass the reins to you now. Thank you.
Great. Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you again. It is so nice to meet you all. And yeah, I do have big shoes to fill. Megan is fantastic. So I'm really excited to get to work with you guys. I know it's the last meeting of the semester, so it's kind of bittersweet, but I will go ahead and hear a motion to reorder new business item B for the purpose for guest time. If anyone would like to make that motion.
Of course, I'll do that.
Thank you, Steve. Is there a second?
Second.
Great.
Second.
All right, so new business item B has been reordered. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to our guests, Andrew and Teresa, to talk a little bit about why they're here.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So hi, everyone. Again, my name is Andrew Devedjian. I'm here with my co-organizer, Teresa, as we are representing this new movement started within the Miami Oxford community called Armenians for Human Rights. So we recognize that many of you probably don't know exactly what's happening within Armenia currently and probably don't know where it is even on a map. So the hope is to go through a brief history of what's going on within Armenia and the relationship between Azerbaijan in this region called the Republic of Artsakh, and everything that's transpiring within the region, why it matters to the Armenians within this community, and why it should matter to the city council itself and Oxford as a whole. But I want to begin by kind of framing you all with an understanding of a conversation I had yesterday with a good friend of mine, Robbie, who I called him up and I was telling him that, hey, I'm going to be having this conversation with this SCRC tomorrow, just kind of running through all the things that we were going to talk about. And he told me, Andrew, if this moves forward, if the Oxford City Council is able to adopt a proclamation recognizing the sovereignty of Artsakh, you let me know because it's going to give hope to thousands of Armenians. And I asked him, well, Robbie, there's other ordinances and towns that have adopted such a resolution. But he told me, well, Andrew, if it can happen in a small town in Ohio, it can happen anywhere. And I want you guys to kind of keep that in the back of your head when we're talking about the things that are transpiring and why it matters, because if it can happen here, it can happen anywhere. So I'm going to actually pass it over to Teresa to walk through some of the history of what's happening within the region, and then we'll loop back around to me to talk about why it matters and things of that nature.
Okay, so hi again. In case you didn't hear, my name's Teresa. I see a lot of familiar faces. I see Prue, who is my landlady, actually. I pay her rent. And I also see Matt Arbuckle, who is one of my professors in poli-sci. Hello. I'm not sure whether screen sharing is enabled, but I do have a map here, which I think might make my little historical explanation easier. Okay, awesome. Okay. Yes, desktop.
Any luck there?
Sorry, I'm having some tech difficulties.
And I will say, we also have two guests attending on the side here as participants in the webinar. And if they would like to speak, there should be a raise hand button available for them to use.
Okay, I think I might have it, if that's all right with you. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, so this is a map of the region that I'm talking about, and I just want to preface this this bit of history by saying that I know a lot of since I'm a poli-sci major, I know a lot of the history classes. The American history classes and the international law classes kind of see international politics as something separate from us and something that doesn't really affect us. And when we talk about it, we say, oh, it's, it's complex, it's this complex conflict that we don't really know anything about because we're not involved. And that's our job, is to stay involved and mind our own business. So Andrew and I are actually from Andrew is not from Ohio. I'm from Ohio. I was born and raised here, but Andrew also grew up in the Americas. He grew up in Chicago, I believe. And so we're born, raised Americans, and this affects us today. I'm first gen. My family moved here when they were 19 years old. They were refugees from Armenia. As you can see on the map right here, Armenia is pretty landlocked. It's surrounded by Turkey, Georgia, and Azerbaijan. And so the recent conflict we'll get into a little bit later, but for my own part, I want to give you a little bit of the background, the history between these three countries. So for these three countries, Armenia is what we're talking about. That's right here in the middle. And as you can see, it's pretty sandwiched. So from a while ago, from 1915, actually, Armenia's been having issues with these two countries. And when I say issues, I mean very, very serious issues. Right now, we face, not to be dramatic, but we do face possible extinction if I were to push it that far. So from 1915, we had genocide happen in Armenia that was perpetuated by Turkey, by the government of Turkey. And essentially what happened is millions, about 1.5 million Armenians either died or were deported from the country. So that's not what my family went through. They stayed through the genocide. But a little bit later, in the 1980s and 1990s, this was an issue that really affected them. So Turkey is a huge country. It's not a full world power, not comparable to the US or to Britain, France, the main world powers that we know about, but it is very rich in resources and it's a very useful ally to have for other world powers. So they're kind of untouchable. And they have a very big sway on this country right here, right next to Armenia, Azerbaijan. And excuse me. And essentially what they do is they kind of overreach. They give Azerbaijan gifts and lovely things, troops, resources, things of that nature. And they essentially coax them. And they're a big influencer in the conflict that Armenia has with Azerbaijan. So that's how these three countries are related. But essentially, from 1915, we lost a lot of people. So now there are more, there are about 50% of the Armenian population that was originally in Armenia is outside of Armenia and scattered across the globe. More recently, in the 1980s and 1990s, we had maybe 1,000 people leave the country or be killed. And that was because of not a full-blown genocide. That was because of an ethnic cleansing that happened. That was perpetuated by Azerbaijan, this country right here. So essentially what happened is a lot of main cities in Armenia. You can see the capital, Yerevan, and also a lot of main cities in Azerbaijan. You can see the capital right here, Baku, were targeted, and what they were called were pogroms. And what those basically are violent hate crimes against a certain people. And it was essentially because of a difference in culture. That was kind of the root of the entire conflict, was because Armenians were Christian and they lived life a certain way. And that's the basis of the entire conflict, or at least that's what we hear. We're really not sure, since neither Turkey nor Azerbaijan has ever confessed to any war crimes, any genocide, any ethnic cleansing. And why would they? It would make them look really bad. So that's where we are. So that's from there to now. I've brought you up to speed. Essentially, that's Azerbaijan, Armenian, and Turkey history. And now I'm going to pass it on to Andrew to tell you why this affects us today.
Wonderful, thank you. If you could keep that map up as well, Teresa. So for some reference, you're looking at Armenia, you're looking at Azerbaijan, and then if you guys see on your screen that number 12, that area in between, and that's what we're talking about. This region called the Republic of Artsakh or Nagorno-Karabakh. So all the way back, so Armenia experiences this genocide. They're then taken over by the Soviet Union, and so is Azerbaijan. The Soviet Union gives this region, known as the Republic of Artsakh, to Azerbaijan, and there's documents of this. Stalin himself giving this region out of spite for Armenians not exactly welcoming communism. And then fast forward to the Republic, the Soviet Union falling in 1991, this region of ethnic Armenians that was Azerbaijan's territory want to break away. They want sovereignty. They have a vote. In 1991, 95% of the inhabitants vote for sovereignty. Azerbaijan doesn't like this that much. They then enter a conflict with the ethnic Armenians there. Armenia comes in to support. The region then creates a buffer zone after about a 3-year war, and the Republic of Artsakh is born. Fast forward to 30 years. Now it's September 27th, 2020. Azerbaijan re-enters the region of the Republic of Artsakh with the intent of taking back what they saw as their land. After 45 days of conflict, the president of Armenia, the president of Russia, and the president of Azerbaijan signed a joint declaration. So this was just this past November 6th or November 9th. They signed a joint declaration ending the war. Azerbaijan gets 60% of this Republic of Artsakh. So that's kind of, and Teresa gave much needed context to like the overall ethnic tensions within the region. But what we're talking about right now is this region, the Republic of Artsakh. So as it stands right now, Azerbaijan gets to take 60% of the region. So what does that mean? Why does it matter? Why are we then asking? And what our ask is for this council to work with us and then work with the Oxford City Council, because I know that there's some members and there's that connection of this board, to adopt a proclamation recognizing the sovereignty of Artsakh and condemning Azerbaijan. So the first main component to understanding of why this matters and why this connected is because it's a clear signal of standing against hate. There's hundreds of years of ethnic tension, but in the past 45 days, what Azerbaijan has perpetuated is war crime after war crime. There is reports of dropping chemical weapons on children. There is reports and videos of capturing soldiers, beheading them, and laughing. There's images of blown up churches, of hospitals, bringing in Syrian mercenaries that Turkey contracted to kill Armenians at $100 a head. The destruction of mask factories in the middle of a pandemic. These are what we've seen just in the past 45 days. So we're asking to the Oxford City Council and this board to work with us to strongly condemn these actions, these crimes against humanity. And then there's the second component to this. this idea of standing up for the values that I know individuals on this board and people within the Oxford community and Miami community value. And that's the idea of the rule of law, of democracy. Because for the past 30 years, the people of the Republic of Artsakh have operated with a constitution that they adopted, legislators that they voted in, presidents that they voted in fair and free elections. And more than that, there's the question of infrastructure. They had commerce departments. They had schools. They had irrigation systems for their farmers. It was about 150,000 Armenians, ethnic Armenians, who were living in this Republic of Artsakh. And 100,000 of them are currently fleeing right now. That means children who should be in school are fleeing. They're becoming refugees within Armenia. They're leaving their home. So that's the second component of this, so unequivocally standing for the values that I know we can all get behind, because those ideas of life, liberty, and the right to self-determination that we value as a country, they're being eroded halfway across the world. And I want you to kind of connect back to what I said at the beginning. If it can happen in Armenia, then it can happen anywhere. And then it gets to this last component, the idea that there's ethnic Armenians within Oxford. There's not a lot of us, in all fairness, but we have many allies, as seen from a solidarity event that we held last Friday. And in standing up for the connection that we have with the Republic of Artsakh and condemning these actions, it means something to the people of this community who are not only Armenian, but allies to this cause. And then it also obviously means something to the Armenians halfway across the world. Like I said, 100,000 of them who are fleeing from their home, who are burning their houses because they know that the Azeri soldiers are coming in to desecrate it, who are taking their dead that they buried either recently or decades ago because they're afraid of those graves being desecrated. And I'm sorry to bring down the mood in that sense, but I want you all to understand the gravity of the situation. Because the worst part about it is this is 105 years after a genocide. We as Armenians are still fighting for the right to exist as a people, to have the identity, to call ourselves Armenians. And there's a clear connection, and that's why we're asking, and we do have actually a proclamation drafted up. I don't exactly know the process of this, and I want to soon turn it over to questions and comments, and we can kind of figure it out, because this is something that Teresa and I are very passionate about. This is something that I know many people in our community, Miami students and otherwise, are very passionate about. And in adopting some sort of proclamation, like I said, it sends a clear message that even in the midst of a pandemic, injustice persists, and we unabatedly are against such crimes against humanity that are happening in this world. And that also is connected to adopting a proclamation recognizing the sovereignty of Artsakh. So with that, I'm sorry I got on a soapbox for a second, but questions, comments, please let us know. Please push us. I know we just went through like 100-something years of history. We didn't have a semester-long course. Yes, Glenn, please.
Yeah, it's interesting that you guys brought this up, because I ran across this ironically strolling through my Reddit feed, and then went down a really deep rabbit hole about this region and the atrocities levied upon, Armenia and Artsakh and the people that inhabit that. And just correct me if I'm wrong, but Artsakh was an agreed upon sovereign country that had a large amount of Armenians in it. And for whatever reasons, Azerbaijan hated that. And they kind of sat on it for a while due to the ceasefire, but then they decided to enter in not too long ago and just started wrecking things and doing the most disrespectful kinds of actions they could possibly do, like shooting at headstones and monuments and breaking into people's houses and just breaking things and like daring people to resist them, via the threat of overwhelming force and other stuff like that, which to me is ridiculous. And I was sitting in there trying to figure out why somebody would do that. And then I remembered Kosovo. And it's very similar to what happened, a couple decades ago in that particular situation. So like, yeah, I'm on board with a proclamation to say like, let people that want to live. And hopefully, there's some support around that truce and that you guys can get some defense behind, what Azerbaijan is doing.
I thank you. I appreciate it. And I really wish that I could tell you, no, that's not what happened. They weren't going and destroying headstones. They weren't going into houses and taking children. I really wish I could say that that's not what this world is looking like. Not 100 years ago, but right now.
Yeah, it was like less than a month ago, right?
Exactly.
Like late September, early October, and then they just decided they were going to go in and start doing this stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
I wanna establish that something that is important. There is some gravity to this in the sense of the international community, the United States, does not recognize the sovereignty of Artsakh because again, some politicking. Turkey, as an ally to the United States, doesn't like the idea of the ethnic Armenians within Artsakh declaring their own sovereignty. So at a federal level, they do not recognize it. There has been examples of several different city councils across the country recognizing the sovereignty of Artsakh, namely larger California communities, because there's a big Armenian population there. But again, it connects to this idea that if the Oxford City Council, a small town in Ohio, says unequivocally the Armenians in the Republic of Artsakh, they have the right to their sovereignty, it sends a clear message that, again, if it happens here, it can happen anywhere. So,
yeah, it's actually a pretty simple political construct. You just look at Puerto Rico. Like, that's a sovereign country, yet it is a territory of the United States. And like they voted to say, hey, we're willing to be a state this year during their elections. But like the same kind of thing applies. It's a sovereign area, but still has ties to Armenia. And I'm sure that's mainly the reason why no one wants to acknowledge it. But I would just say like political land rules and things like that would still apply if that's how they view that land. And I don't know the details of it. I'm not that close enough to understand those intricacies, but that to me is what Artsakh is kind of like the Puerto Rico to Armenia.
To a degree, yeah.
Exactly. And can I just add a little caveat that that's honestly why we love bringing this kind of thing up to councils like you guys, is because you're not involved in like the mess of politics that prevents people from making like common choice decisions. And the thing is, when they make that conversation so complex to have, when they have all these strings attached and they're saying, well, but this person has sway over this place and this person has sway over this place, so I have to listen to these people in order to mitigate my opinion of it, then they get muddled. They get muddled in the red tape of bureaucracy. So that's why a council like this is perfect for involving you guys in this conversation. And sometimes, if I was in your shoes, I would say, well, why are you bringing this to me? This just seems totally out of my, region of, I don't have any background on this. I haven't even heard of this. This doesn't seem like it relates to me at all. But I feel like if we bring it to a committee like this, we're inviting you to have an opinion on it, which I don't think is something that any other party is affording people, just regular everyday people that should have an opinion on it, because they're the ones that have the most common sense, in my opinion.
Well said, Teresa. I want to bring in Kathy because I know I saw you raising your hand at the beginning.
Andrew and Teresa, can you give us maybe some resources that those of us that haven't followed Glenn's Reddit rabbit hole, maybe some background?
We would be happy to send that over. It's kind of difficult right now because there's this weird media outlet in a narrative that is being perpetuated that it's over. Azerbaijan won, that's it. Because again, what Teresa is talking about, this politicking at this national level is hard, but we will try to provide you with factual, nonpartisan sources that can kind of bring you up to speed and within that degree. With the conflict itself, with the history of this conflict, in quick caveat, we don't really like, I know I'm using the word conflict, but we don't like using the word conflict all too much because Azerbaijan is 3 times the size of Armenia, 8 times the size military. Turkey, 10 times Armenia, 36 times military. So it's not really a conflict. It's not even really a fair fight. So yes, but we can share some resources. Yes, Steve. Yeah, of course.
If I can jump in, if you go to reddit.com/r/Armenia, you'll get a lot of posts about Artsakh and Azerbaijan and Turkey and the interactions between all this stuff. That's how I ended up there. And I think I actually understand exactly what you guys are doing and the end goal of the whole process, because sometimes you can't go directly to a federal legislator, they will ignore you. But if you can get enough momentum from the grassroots level, from the local levels and the local governments, so if you get 88 counties worth of Ohio governments to say, hey, we should recognize this, and then you go to Columbus, then it will be hard for them to say no against 88 counties worth of local legislators saying, yeah, we recognize these guys as a sovereign country.
Gee, Glenn, I can't wait to use that strategy and many other things that we need to tackle in the state. But I wanted to say 2 things. We've got, this is our last meeting for the semester. We're not seeing a written document to endorse, but I'd like to propose a motion that we commend the creation of this group of Miami students who are so passionately supportive of a resolution to these conflicts, these serious difficulties in their home country, and that we would urge City Council to seriously consider whatever resolution is submitted to them on this topic.
Wonderful. Thank you, Steve. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Great. Thank you. So yeah, thank you, Teresa and Andrew, both for that very informative presentation. We really enjoyed. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Priya, I see your hand up now.
Okay, if I could just add something right at this time.
Hey, Prue, real quick, can we finish that vote?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So all in favor of Steve's proposal to have a resolution to condemn the actions that have taken place, as well as to recognize the sovereignty of Armenia, please say aye.
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 And then all opposed? Wonderful.
And hi, Teresa. I am particularly interested in this because in 1966, I worked at a guest house in Lenox, Massachusetts, which was right near to Tanglewood. And a couple that worked there, it was summer work, were also Armenians, Marie and Sarkis Devonian. And he was a piano teacher and she was a cook for the staff in this guest house, and I was her assistant. So I got to know them really well. And one day she sat me down and she said, now, do you know any of the history of the Armenian people? And I have to admit, ignorance, but she told me stories of how her grandfather was put in a cart with a couple of rugs over him and went all the way down to Constantinople to be able to emigrate here to the United States. So there are lots of stories like that, and we're just not aware of them. But whenever I see the National Day, or it's always recognized on the news, I'm reminded of Sarkis and Marie. And I think this is a worthy cause. Anything against hate, that's great.
I really appreciate that.
Definitely. So yeah, thank you, Andrew and Teresa, for being here. We really appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I love your passion. Hang in there.
Best of luck. Thanks for informing us on this topic.
Thank you.
All right. And then from there, yeah, we can jump back up to reports. So first on the agenda is the OPD report.
Actually, we skipped over a few agenda items.
I apologize. Should I start at updates or?
No, the approval of minutes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I will hear a motion to approve the minutes from October 23rd as well as November 6th. If anyone would like to make that.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last 2 meetings.
And it has been.
Second.
Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Great. Okay. So then moving on from there, we're now at reports. So we'll hear from the OPD now.
It's been a taxing week. It's been a pretty bad week. I would say started off with an article at the Miami Student that was pretty much out of context. Much of the stuff was out of context, which sparked a lot of public fervor, which sparked a lot of discussion at council. So we have a lot of mask discussion. We enforced the mask mandate, and governor came down with a curfew order. So those are things that happened this week.
Great, thank you, Laura. And then we'll hear from the MUPD now.
And it doesn't look like
They
we
have
have
a-
anyone from MUPD today.
Okay. So then, yeah, from there, we'll move on to updates. So I did already introduce myself a little bit to you guys, but I can just briefly go over a few more of my goals. So student outreach and community outreach are a huge thing for me. So something that I really want to do and that I'm working on right now is creating an opt-in e-newsletter that our students and community members can opt in to receive. So this will just have more detailed resources available both within the community as well as Miami. And then some topics that are going to be in this first newsletter, like a health and wellness checklist going into finals week, like what to do if you're staying in Oxford, like how to shut down your utilities if you're leaving, like to dispose of furniture, just like helpful things like that. And then also just to highlight some of the work that our off-campus senators have been doing, just so that our students, like that we're staying engaged with our students and making sure that we still get that flow of student concerns. And yeah, I will try to be brief. I'm sorry. And then just some of my goals for this commission. I want to continue working on the great work you guys have been doing with accessibility and DEI initiatives, as well as continue our conversations on how to create systemic change in Oxford, since those have been really productive and going very well so far. So I just want to keep the momentum going there. And then the next thing, so the COVID-19 Information Committee. So just last week at Senate, we gave our report on the findings of the committee from this semester. So basically these focused on how the university has been communicating to students, their testing protocols, health and well-being, as well as compliance. And so just some highlights from this are like how the university is communicating with students over COVID. And so we recommend that they have like a more consolidated approach to this instead of just like a flow of different emails coming from a lot of different people, just that it's very consolidated and more concise. And then we also said that like testing obviously has improved a lot as the semester has gone on. So testing is happening like very quickly and results are coming back very quick. So very good job on that. And then a lot of things like we've also looked into our academic policy. So just like with the credit, no credit deadlines, as well as course delivery and options for that. And then we also just want to keep pushing like positive reinforcement of good behavior through our programs such as mask ambassadorship. And then we're working on that a lot within my committee right now. So I'm excited about that. And then So yeah, that's our COVID report that is coming. And then just for plans for the remainder of the year in J term. So I am sad that this year is ending right now. It's just such an awkward transition right now with this being the last meeting. So I appreciate you guys for bearing with me and just staying up with that. So I'll be having a J term off campus affairs committee. And so I'm really excited to get to work with the senators on that. So we'll be just continuing our work with Women Helping Women. I really want to see the Ask for Lexi initiative implemented in at least 2 bars over J term. And so I'm really excited to get to work on that. And then just continue our support for local business initiatives. Now that a lot of students are out of Oxford and business will be dropping for businesses, that's obviously like a very urgent thing right now to work on with our collaborations with local business. And then I just want to continue pushing the mask ambassadorship program and then get to work on our e-newsletter, which I'm really excited about. And so, yeah, moving on from there, that's all the updates from me. So back to our old business. So last meeting, we heard from Igodia, and they talked a lot about their client outreach or their client challenge, and came up with some really cool initiatives for local business support. And so I know we are all in favor of like the Crawford bike race and the business partnerships and things like that. So I'm going to be continue working on that. I know that the gift card program has been discontinued. So I just wondered if Glenn or Andrew had any more updates about that or like possible alternatives that are being explored.
So the gift card program was basically turned into a grant after we got the next round of CARES Act funding. And that's what happened with those gift cards is they effectively became the cities at that point. So any revenue generated from those gift cards is going to go into a housing program for individuals in need that is in its initial steps, but it's essentially to provide revenue to give to the Family Resource Center to rent out rooms for cold sheltering. And then further, I guess you'd say development after that. Not sure if Andrew has more details because I'm just trying to go off of memory from the presentation that Assistant City Manager Green gave me regarding that. But I'm trying to think about, can you tell me what the other question is that you had? I was thinking about that first one. What was the other?
I'm sorry, if there have been any like other alternatives that have been discussed for the gift card program. You kind of answered that as well.
Okay, so was that it? Just like what was going on with the gift card program?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Glenn, for the update.
Well, and of course, many local businesses have their own gift cards in place or the opportunity to buy ahead, and anything that we could do to encourage students to take advantage of that for when they're returning, or if they have friends who are staying, that would be a wonderful holiday gift in advance of leaving friends behind here. Or if they love their landlord, Prue, they might be recognizing their landlord or landlady with a gift card.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Steve. And so, yeah, that's the end of our old business or whoops. So yeah, we can move on to new business item A now. So the City of Oxford Code Enforcement Policy Research. So I'll turn that over to Sam if he's here. Oh, great. Hi, Sam. How are you?
Hi, good. Hi, Emily. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Just a quick update. So an introduction for those of you that don't know me, Andrew is a colleague of mine. So we work together in the community development department, and I oversee the planning and building, permitting, inspection, kind of the all-encompassing aspects of private property management. So one of the things that I wanted to do some research on was to see how we could improve property maintenance code enforcement as it relates to primarily rental property. And that's where the connection is with off-campus student housing. So I've got someone working on researching that, Lilith Hovenson. Some of you may know her, actually Armenian national, who is living in the United States now. So ironically, kind of tied back to the previous discussion. So the research actually, what I think it will do is help to inform the city staff, elected officials, and to some extent, even our inspectors as to what the expectations are. So we've got 3 different survey groups we'll be looking at and collecting data on. And hopefully this will help guide future policy on how this is funded, as far as how these properties look to tourists, to investors, to neighbors. And it might actually help students realize that there are other people besides students that notice how the properties are kept up. And it kind of becomes at that point more of a feedback loop on what the expectations should be and how that affects the future of Oxford. So connecting that over to economic development and our future, because sometimes that first impression is really important for people when they come to visit, when they're looking for a place to live, how the community looks. And since the off-campus student housing, a lot of the rental properties are not really hidden like they are in some college towns, that's really important for us. So it's a good time for us to do a reality check on that. So we'll be spending the next few months collecting data on that, doing some research, and hopefully we'll have something in front of City Council in 2021 on what some recommendations are. So just an update. Let me know if you have any questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Sam. Does anyone have any questions? All right. So yeah, thank you, Sam, for the information. We appreciate you being here. And so then from there, our next new business item is consideration of an additional SCRC meeting over J-term. I know that typically we don't do this. I know over the summer we had an additional meeting just with COVID-19 and everything that was going on. So I was just hoping to open it up to you guys and see what your thoughts are on this. If you would like to have one, if you would not like to have one, if you would like to have one just for updates on what's happening, feel free to share your thoughts.
Student community relations happen all year long, whether or not the university is in session, and it's only this commission that seems to be ignoring that. So I love that idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be very productive. I think there's always so much to catch up on after J-term and so much confusion. So I think that would be great.
I think that's a good idea too, because that's a long time and a lot of things happen. It's a busy time.
I concur strongly.
Well, and especially with Zoom, it makes it easy from wherever we are. We can still get together and talk about our concerns and the possibilities.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you guys for all the comments. So yeah, I'll hear a motion to have another SCRC meeting over J-term, if someone would like to make that.
I'll move that we add a meeting during J-term in 2021.
Second.
I second it.
Great. So all in favor for an additional meeting over J-term?
Aye.
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 And then all opposed? All right. So the ayes have it. We'll meet additionally over J-term. Fantastic.
So
okay.
There are 3 dates that are available. That would be the 8th, 15th, and 22nd of January. So if you want to go ahead and pick a date as well.
I'd like to have it on the calendar, so pick a date.
Does anyone have any strong thoughts about a particular date?
Could you repeat them, please?
I would suggest the 15th. I think the 8th might be too early and the 22nd might be too late.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Scott.
Yeah, that sounds good to me too.
All right. So we will meet on January 15th then. Wonderful. All right. So that concludes all our new business items. So I'll open the floor for any general announcements.
I would just like to say that last Wednesday night, the City of Oxford, Miami, and the League of Women Voters had a program on one climate, one community, and it was really an excellent report of what those 3 groups are doing, working together, particularly Miami and the city. And it's on a YouTube so that you could look it up. And I think it was a virtual meeting, so there were about 30 people who were there, but there are things that are happening that are very interesting. And I think this committee might like to invite the chair, and they could give a little report.
Yeah, Steve, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the Age-Friendly Oxford group is successfully putting into place its mailed newsletter on a weekly basis using CARES Act monies. The feedback that they are getting from older adults who are receiving this and who have complained that they haven't had a great opportunity because they don't use computers to learn a lot about what's happening. This positive step is really, really great. So they are helping to engage a strong segment of this community that have felt disconnected for quite some time. So there's always information about the COVID status, things on campus, positive things, as well as things to help keep people safe. And that's really exciting. And thanks to the city for providing the CARES Act money for that to happen.
Wonderful.
I don't think I got to share yet the response from Maddie DeVivo from Women Helping Women. I sent her the letter supporting the It's On Us bar training program. She said it was spot on. And she said, thanks so much for the tips on the bars for them to check out that are in the greater Oxford area. And they're going to be investigating those.
Great. That's wonderful to hear.
I know a few weeks ago, someone had asked how much money the 5K raised for TOPS, and it raised $1,925 just for the 5K. I'm not sure, maybe next semester, whoever is on the commission can update you all on what the semester total was with all of the fundraisers. But I know someone asked that, so I wanted to give that update.
Great. Thank you, Molly. Does anyone else have anything? All right. So yeah, it was so nice to meet all of you guys. Thank you for bearing with me. It's just such a weird transition. I really appreciate all the help at this meeting, and then I'll get the hang of things as we keep going. So I'm excited to work with all of you guys. And with that, I will hear a motion to adjourn. If anyone would like to make that motion.
Thanks, Emily. I'd like to make the motion to adjourn, and great job on your first meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
I second the motion with an amendment that we all stay safe and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Beautiful. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All against? Great. All right. You guys all have a fantastic Thanksgiving and a great break. Try to get some rest and relax a little bit after this crazy semester. So you guys all have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Emily. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.